Resting their casket. I'm way more than an artist.
Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to talk about fight day nerves or anxieties leading up to a fight. It is currently the 13th of December. I'm going to fight today. It is fight day for me, fighting Brandon Bartel on MTR Promotions. I thought I'd just come on here and speak a little bit about some of the things that fighters go through on fight day, you know, the nerves, the anxieties, the self-doubt, all that sort of stuff, and how I deal with it. First thing that I'd want to speak about, and probably the most important thing, is the prep for the fight. I make sure that for almost every camp that I leave no stones unturned, and that I go into that ring as prepared as I possibly can. Because if I go into that ring feeling like I could have done better, I would disappoint myself when I lose, you know. So I try and make sure that I go in there 100%. That means that I look on all aspects of my sport. That's training, my cardio, my strength and conditioning, my nutrition, my recovery, my mental side to this game. You know, everything is 100% planned to the T so that I can perform my absolute best. Always try and add something new into your camp so that you can always improve. There's always room for improvement. For this camp, I got cupping done a week before the fight, so that all my little nibbles and whatnot are 100% sorted. I've tried a new strength and conditioning program to better my condition, focusing on cardio for this fight. So hopefully that if I need to, I can go the full 5 rounds. But saying that, actual fight week and fight day should be as normal as it can possibly be. I just spend my time doing what I would normally do in a day anyway, just without the training. I would go for a nice walk, drink coffee, you know, bake nice food, cook nice food, and try and be as relaxed as possible. I don't need to try anything new, like new techniques in the gym in the last week. You're not going to be able to pull that off in the fight. You know, I'm not going to try a new pre-workout just before going out because I don't know how I feel with it. You know, everything's planned to the T, and the little thing that I might try that's new would have been throughout the camp. A different turn or side is your spirituality or your mental state, you know. How do you feel about yourself going to this fight? I try and reflect through journaling, and I try and visualize at night or in the sauna, or, you know, some moments where I take a deep breath to myself. You know, these are all things that can help calm your nerves and spiritually prepare you for the fight. You know, where I write in my journal, I'm fighting at this date, this is what's going well in my camp, this is what's not going well, this is how I feel about my opponent. All things like this is very personal to you and can really help you fight. Like, the visualization stuff is so key. In my last fight, before I walked out, I actually envisioned, like, I didn't mean to, it just sort of happened, where I envisioned the fight before. And in that fight before, I dominated my opponent. And I just thought to myself, I can feel it, like it's going to happen again. And that's exactly what I did. I went and dominated my opponent the next time around. So hopefully tonight, when I go in there, I feel like I can do exactly what I've been doing this entire year. Because that's exactly what I plan on doing so. And, you know, having that visualization where you think of how you're going to do it is so important. So is breath work, you know, so you've got to make sure your breathing's under control when you're hitting pads, when you're fighting, when you're just living, you know. It's so important, that mental and spiritual side of the sport. Super important thing is to be prepared and organized. There's an old saying, you know, if you fail to prepare, prepare to fail. So I try and make sure that every detail is squared away for the fight. That's tickets, that's a travel, that's my food, you know, making sure everything's packed, my kit, do not forget anything, you know, because you don't want to be running around the day of the fight and, like, you rushed around trying to get stuff and sort tickets, and then you've got to be at the venue and stuff like that. I meticulously try and plan with my team and my partner exactly what I'm going to do. I don't do no last minute shit, you know. I've gotten very detail oriented with how I do things, and I don't like last minute surprises. That really does my nut in. So I try and avoid that as much as possible. Obviously, if you're going to an away show, like, you should expect some surprises from the opposing team or the opposing show, because that's just what you should expect from people like that. Sometimes they treat you good, sometimes they don't. but you should be able to roll with the punches. But I will not accept that from my own team, my own family. If I feel like anyone's going to be a disappointment or a letdown, I will simply not be around them when it comes to fight time, because that 4 or 5 times of the year is the most important times of my year. You know, I train day in, day out, and some of these people don't see the effort that I've put into this fight camp. So they don't understand the stresses. The people that are buying tickets last minute, when you've been asking them to come and they said they will, but they're getting it last minute. Stuff like that really annoys me. So I try and make sure that I avoid things like that, you know. Otherwise, then what do you expect? You know, if you go to the fight venue all stressed out and you haven't done this and you haven't done that, you know, it's gonna make your fighting experience a lot harder. So I always say, make sure that you're organized and detail oriented. To cap off the video, or to end this video, I'll speak about self-doubt. You know, the thoughts and the feelings of losing, right? I've gone undefeated this year. Hopefully tonight I keep that true and make it 5 out of 5 wins this year. But I have lost a lot of fights in the past. And quite simply, I get negative thoughts all the time, especially coming up to the fight. I understand that that's just my brain, and it's not something that like I genuinely believe. As long as you don't genuinely believe that you're going to lose, I think it's fine, because that's just your mind playing tricks on you. It's fine to be nervous. Like it's what makes us really strong. You know, you'll get that adrenaline from being nervous, and that excitement in your chest and your stomach. That I sort of enjoy that feeling, because it makes me feel euphoric, to say the least. And that's why I enjoy this sport so much. The feeling of fighting and winning is euphoric. It's amazing. So try and enjoy that, and understand that you can lose. It takes one punch, one elbow, one kick, one knee, and it could all be game over. So I'm very comfortable with that as well. I have lost before. I'm not afraid of losing. I'm afraid of disappointing myself. So I make sure that in the lead up to the fight, I do as much as I can to possibly make sure that when it comes to fight night, my body will just take over and do what it does best, and that is to fight at a high level, right? And be kind to yourself. You know, self-doubt can be really horrible and make you feel like shit, but that doesn't mean that you should let it.